Okay.
Hey everybody, and welcome to our product questionnaire with Tom Jr. today. Today we're going to be talking about shampoos. We were excited last week when we had a gal join us, Katie Larkin from Australia, and she talked about not only what our products do for her skin from the inside out, but what our products do for her hair. So it was exciting, and you, being the chemist of these awesome ingredients, we thought we'd grab Tom Jr. for another fun week and take those products, the Exquisite and the Sapphire shampoos, and talk about how great they are, how they compare to other products on the market, and we're going to put his skills to use as a chemist and have him show you just how easy it is to make products out in the industry, how easy it is to make shampoo. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4 steps can make your basic shampoos. So we're going to grab it and
Well,
do
the
this.
shampoos you see on the market.
Correct.
Not with what we built here.
Correct. So, but first of all, because I did not do this last week, and because you're kind of a serious fellow, because he's kind of smart, but I don't think what a lot of people know is that he is so silly. He is. He's acting like he's not. But I'm going to ask him some questions, because just as you get to know Tom Sr. when I talk to him, we're going to ask Tom Jr. some questions. So you're a busy guy,
Okay.
right?
Try
You
to
leave
be.
here,
Yeah.
and you go home, and what do?
Well, I work on all my other things till about midnight.
Right? Like what?
Irrigation.
You basically live on a farm, right?
I run a farm.
A ranch.
That's true.
So
That's true.
anything to do with the cows,
Horses,
the
cows,
fencing?
chickens. Yeah, 240 mother cows.
Okay,
Yep.
but that's
That's how I
work.
unwind.
Okay, it really is. It is how he unwinds. But those are things he has to do. But are those things that you do for fun? Like if you had, I asked Dad this.
Yes.
If you had a day, no chores, what would you do for fun?
What would I do for fun? Well, if I have all my chores done, I don't know. But for a day like that, I do something with my family. I know that. I would go fishing. I would do something with them. We work together as a family, not just here,
Right?
but on the ranch and the farm also on the weekends and nights, and we would do something fun.
And you'd probably do it outdoors.
Definitely.
Because he's an outdoor guy, just like my dad, just like most of our family.
Yep.
And being in the outdoors is truly what makes us have a good time. So today I am inspired by this beautiful girl, Katie Larkin. She sent these to us, and I just wanted to bring them out. This is her. She is a bodybuilder, and a gorgeous one at that. And she is one of our go-getters, top distributors in Australia. I mean, she's just a beautiful gal, and health and wellness is a priority to her. And last week when we were talking about our skincare, she sent these pictures and said, look at what the products do for my hair. This is what she called her sizzle hair. And she uses our Sapphire shampoo and our Encompass 360 to achieve these looks. So last week when we talked about what you can take on the inside for your skin,
Right.
What can you do as far as, we'll talk about shampoo, but Encompass 360, what does that do for the inside for your hair?
Well, a lot like we talked about for your skin, the same is true with your hair, because once your hair has left your scalp, virtually it is dead. The hair is generated from the papilla, and at that point it needs all the nutrients and the blood flow and everything that is essential for growth. And that comes through protein, vitamins, minerals, and so we need to have good nutrition. And so you know, for years women love prenatal vitamins. I don't know how many kids Leisel's had, but it's been a lot. But when she was having kids, her hair and her nails were longer because she was taking prenatal vitamins.
That's true.
And the same is true when you take Encompass 360. You have a wide range of very large doses of B vitamins and minerals, but also antioxidants, because once again, antioxidants not are only effective for our skin and our overall health, but our hair responds to that too. Just like UV damage to our hair is damaging, well, free radicals inside our system affect hair growth. So to see Katie's beautiful hair there, I mean, that takes years to grow a head of hair like that. If you want straw like this or beautiful hair like that, It takes a lot of care, preparation, and the types of products that you ingest and that you use on the hair if you want to have long, beautiful hair.
Okay, so I want to thank everybody for joining us. As usual, we've got the great people like Angelica Grabaya from Germany joining us, but we have a question from Anouk Winker, and this goes exactly to one question I was going to ask you too, because like most women, I dye my hair, I do highlights. So is there a difference in our shampoo? Why is there a difference, and who should use what?
Well, when you talk about shampoos, all shampoos have a surfactant system in them. And the most harsh shampoos out there, which are probably 90% of what you find in the store, contain sodium oryl sulfate that has the highest detergency level. In fact, when I went to the University of Utah and I was in college, we measured everything against sodium oryl sulfate. So when you put together a system or a shampoo, when you're looking at something to protect long hair because it becomes drier, or colored hair because it doesn't bond 100% over time, it will come out, you need a surfactant system that won't break that down. It will let the hair maintain its natural oils and retain the color. And so if you use shampoos that contain that, like sodium oryl sulfate, your hair will become drier, the oils will be gone, the color will not last as long. And so with our shampoos, our Sapphire shampoo, if you have normal to drier type hair or colored hair, we recommend the Sapphire because the surfactant system, it's actually a blend of products, is much less, doesn't have as high a detergency level, and so it's much safer on that. If you want to use
Sapphire for dry or treated hair.
Correct.
Okay.
And Exquisite for normal hair.
Okay.
We don't have a real aggressive shampoo if you really have, axle grease in your hair. We
Sure.
don't have one for that.
Okay.
But normal to slightly oily hair, Exquisite.
Okay, perfect. So if you're just joining us today, we have got Tom Jr. and we are going to talk about the different shampoos that we have, maybe even Encompass 360, and ways in which you can take care of your hair from the outside and the inside. We are kind of we've got this beautiful picture from a distributor, Katie Larkin. She's inspired us today to kind of go through this as she's put up what she calls her sizzle hair and how she got
Beautiful
it. So
hair.
Beautiful. So we've grabbed the chemist of these great products. So we want to welcome our Kimberly Copas from Queensland. Chris Bedison says good morning from Chrissy, and thanks for everybody to join us. And today what we're actually going to do is have Tom Jr. now make us what would be just a typical shampoo in the marketplace, I think.
Well, reality is when you go into a salon and they'll have this big name that you've seen on television, you've seen it in the magazines. Reality is 75 to 90% of all those dollars go into advertising. Very, very small amount is left for actual product. And when you go into the store and you open up you see a bottle on the shelf, what do you see first? The outside packaging. Then what do most people do? They like to take off the lid and smell it. They like to feel it, touch it. So that's really what they're concerned about, is what your perception is, not the reality of what happens to your actual hair. This is why we have a 250,000 square foot facility, so we can do things different. We can make products. We're concerned, number one, that it has to do what we say, and because of that, we are making a difference. Well, if you go clear back, 60, 80 years ago, sodium oryl sulfate was the mainstay. Inexpensive surfactant. There weren't a lot of systems to use then. Well, they found that surfactant, besides being very aggressive, was very effective in car soaps, when you go through the automatic car wash, dish soaps, engine degreasers, but also hair shampoos and body washes, because it foamed great, but it was so inexpensive you could use it in cleaners and everything. And so with that, I thought we'd just do a real quick demonstration to show you how easily you can make something that smells and looks great with sodium oryl sulfate, but yet it's not doing anything good for your body. Literally, because of its high detergency, it takes harmful ingredients like nitrosamines and formaldehydes and preservatives and things that are found in fragrances and dyes, and it takes them into your system because it breaks down the barrier on your skin and your scalp. So I have a sample of sodium oryl sulfate here.
Okay, so before you start, We've got Pat Garrett poking a little fun of us, saying
Okay.
nice jacket.
Thank you.
So we're in the lab,
Leisel
Pat.
stole all the double XL, so I was left with his medium.
Okay, ignore him, but we're trying to protect our clothing, and we've even got official eyewear that we're gonna be putting on. Cindy Winkenwerder says hello from Texas. And so join us here. Kimberly Copa says her partner loves the conditioner and says it smells like lemon.
Cough.
Stop.
Okay.
Lemon. So people do, women especially, love
Well, in
the
fact,
scent.
today I'm going to pH balance this cheap, inexpensive, highly aggressive shampoo with lemon juice. We're going to use that because it contains citric acid.
So you're showing how a competitor easily makes a shampoo.
And why it's in the market. It has been for 80 years. It's even used in toothpaste. In fact, studies have been done when sodium lauryl sulfate's in toothpaste that canker sores and ulcers in mouth take 5 to 7 days longer to heal because the healing process, the skin, it denatures the proteins, can't heal. So of course our toothpaste is one of the very few that does not contain that.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm ready for if you splash on me.
brought you some goggles.
I've got mine.
And so today, I'll move ours over here. It's really quite simple what they do. And you can be my Vanna White.
Okay,
If you want to pour me 200 mils of water into that beaker.
sure.
And one thing that people really like about a shampoo with sodium lauryl sulfate, as far as a manufacturer standpoint, it thickens with ordinary table salt.
So really salt.
Yeah. In fact, to do this demonstration, I had to order a sample of sodium lauryl sulfate. I thought, I bet we have a sample
I know.
someone that sent to us, but we did not.
So this is basically what sodium lauryl sulfate looks like, just a liquid
It
there.
is.
Now, Kim Kopus has a great question,
Okay.
and I get this a lot. How often should hair be washed?
You know, it really depends on the environment that you're in and the type of hair that you have. Realistically, an average office worker who's not doing a lot and has shorter hair, once or twice a week is plenty.
Yeah, that's what we hear too.
Yeah, and so it really depends on what you're doing. But you can't overwash hair, and by doing so, you strip all the oils because the sebaceous gland, where the hair is growing, it is secreting this oil, but it's actually keeping the hair
Beautiful,
healthy.
shiny, healthy. So overwashing, I think back especially in the 80s, women were overwashing their hair, and it's just kind of come in the last 10 to 15 years where they've kind of told women just to ease back, as that takes a toll on your hair and how beautiful it looks. So Dahlia Berlin says hello from Berlin, and hello from Christian.
Okay, Christian knows hair care.
He does. And Tim Proctor says he loves the Sapphire shampoo, and it lasts a long time.
It does. It does last a long time.
Okay, so what have you got in there so far?
So
Water?
we've got some water and some sodium lauryl sulfate, so I just add some normal table salt to that so we can start to build some viscosity, because people perceive that viscosity, things that are thicker must be more concentrated.
Sure.
It's not true. I mean, you look at that horrible gravy that you make and you put that cornstarch in there, I mean, it may look better, but it doesn't taste any better.
Okay, my gravy is delicious. But really, when I look at shampoo and conditioners, you know, that thickness, women do think it's a
They
more
do.
luxurious,
The
ebullient.
color.
True.
Yep, the color, the fragrance, the viscosity.
What does the salt necessarily do itself? Is that what's making it thicker?
Well, the salt itself is not, but yeah, the anionic surfactants, what happens, surfactants create what they call micelles, or little balls, and so by messing up the charge, they become more compact, and that by getting more of those, you get more viscosity.
I was gonna say that.
I know, I thought I'd help you. Okay, we're getting some viscosity there.
Okay.
And just a little bit more water, and then, in fact, about right there. Now we're gonna put something that we would not want to go into our skin in here, but we're gonna put, do you like red?
Sure.
I know, that's a sizzle color. We're gonna put some FD&C red dye number 3 in here, because boy, that's gonna make it look just beautiful. We'll put just a little bit in there. We'll mix that up there. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
You're in the shower there, whistling your favorite song.
And that really is what women are programmed to look for. More of a
Exactly.
beautiful color, more
That's
of a
right.
feel, not looking at the label. So Katie Larkin, we've got her joining us from Australia today and saying thank you for kind of talking about what she's done with her hair. And we honestly want to thank her for giving us this great idea and getting him here in the lab to explain how to do that. We've got Sandy Built-Off. She says hello from Queensland. Can't wait for me to come to Brisbane. I can't wait too.
I can't wait to send her.
So I'm begging him to go with me. So if you can all help me in that, we can be a team there. So
Now, one thing we need to remember making a shampoo, right now we've added dye and sodium lauryl sulfate and salt. Now, women put over 200 different chemicals on their body every single day with perfumes and hair products and lotions and color cosmetics. So when you add a surfactant like this, I mean, I hate to use this analogy, but in weed and pest control, what do? They add a surfactant like sodium lauryl sulfate to that to help it penetrate bugs and things to get those horrible ingredients into the weed or the pest that might be there. Well, the same thing happens with shampoos. When they are this harsh like sodium lauryl sulfate, when you take something like, here's a fragrance. Well, the name sounds great, fresh and clean rainforest fragrance. Gonna smell wonderful in the shower. But there's probably between 40 and 60 ingredients that go into making this fragrance.
Wow.
At Sizzle Safe, we have 20 to 30 ingredients that we will not allow into our fragrances that have big benzyl or phenyl rings that can be potentially carcinogenic.
So it's kind of crazy to think that one ingredient can have a combination of 40 in those ingredients.
Oh, totally.
So just as a recap, if you've joined us within the last few minutes, we've got Tom Mower Jr. here in the lab, and we're kind of inspired by Katie Larkin from Australia, who's shown us her beautiful hair last week. And she just says Sapphire shampoo and some great Encompass 360 vitamins have given her what she calls, as she calls it straight out, her sizzle hair. So we grabbed Tom to show us just how easy it is in the marketplace to make a very simple shampoo that looks good, that feels good, and that even smells good, but that obviously does nothing for the health of your hair.
And so now we have fragrance, dye, and sodium lauryl sulfate. But this typically will probably have a pH of around 7.5 to 8. When you have hair shampoos with that, 7 is neutral, but your skin runs right around 5.5 or so. Same with your hair. If you have shampoos that are over neutral, you get very dry, feels like straw.
Okay, so Pat Garrett is saying with our shampoos, he doesn't have the dandruff problem. So that would definitely help with that, because as your scalp gets drier.
Absolutely. And so we pH balance those. Most shampoos, they will try to get down to a 5.5 or so pH, so it's more compatible with skin, or you get irritation with that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to simply add some lemon juice, because that looks good on the label.
Now I have a question for you, and
Okay.
this is, you kind of touch on this a little bit, but I've got a great question from Gina Bennett, and that is, will this help your hair grow?
Well,
Can shampoos help your hair grow?
no.
Right.
Scalp conditioners can. Hair shampoos that are correct in the chemistry can do no harm, but they really don't so much help them grow. By not removing all the excess oils and not drying out the scalp, we leave a healthy environment for the hair to grow. But it takes scalp conditioners that actually can interact with the papilla and the microcirculation and keep the sebaceous gland cleaned out so that the oils can come out, such as our hair product that we
Vitalizer.
have, the Vitalizer.
Vitalizer is a
that
great
drops.
product.
By
There's a
doing
lot of
that,
before and after.
that does more for the inside of the skin with the papilla and everything to nutrify it and to help keep the microcirculation.
And then of course the Encompass 360 is definitely a product that helps with
Right,
hair growth.
because that microcirculation is going to bring those vitamins. We know B vitamins are really big for hair growth. So now we're going to take some litmus paper here, and we have a simple chart on the back.
So we have a question saying, why would you add a dye? Again, we are showing you how companies out in the marketplace, not Sizzle, make shampoos.
The brightest fishing lure catches the fish.
That's right.
And when you're at the grocery store, the best looking bottle gets your attention. And when you open it up and you look at it, if you don't like green, you're not going to buy a green shampoo. You wouldn't buy a green car if you don't like it. And so that is why people do that.
Sure, oranges, reds, yellows. but this is an example of what we don't do. Okay, so what are you testing for?
We're testing for pH right here,
Okay.
and it looks like we're about maybe a titch low. We're just barely under 5, but we're right there.
Okay, so what does that tell us?
What that tells us right now, if we were to use this shampoo, that our hair would not be dry. But with the sodium lauryl sulfate, that FD&C dye, red number 3, would penetrate our skin. Depending on the 40 ingredients that make up that fragrance, they would penetrate our skin. And so, what I'm going to show you probably right now, a little bit about why people use that. In fact, we'll take just some water in a clear bottle. One thing I ought to bring up too, sodium lauryl sulfate, because it does foam, it does mix well, it does thicken with table salt. This is why they use it, but the number one thing is because over 90 cents of every dollar is going to advertising and marketing, it's cheap. This cap and this bottle would be more than the formulations that you would see for $25 or $30 in the leading salons. Based upon that, when they use sodium lauryl sulfate as their main surfactant, it saves them dollars. But they like it because, we're going to pour some in here.
Now, all these ingredients that you're using, how expensive is it for a company to make a shampoo like this?
Well, and not being a very good cook, you wouldn't know the lemon juice, you know, a couple of dollars for a bottle.
Sure.
But on an industrial scale, there's probably not more than 1 or 2 cents in a bottle of citric acid.
Okay.
But sodium lauryl sulfate, when you do a shampoo and that's your number one surfactant, maybe 15 to 20 cents.
For a nice bottle of shampoo out in the
Correct.
market.
Total with the dye and with the fragrance, you could be 30, 35 cents. There's more in the cap and the bottle and the label.
And you know, it's funny that I used to hear that, and
But when you're in the shower,
oh wow,
look at that foam.
yeah,
What does that tell you? Smells like a rainforest.
yeah,
pH balanced. In fact, I have an herbal blend here that has chamomile. We could add that to it, but we just have to put a pinch in there.
sure, to make the claim.
Oh, we could have 50 different herbal ingredients here that really don't add any value to it, but it sure looks good on a label.
Now, one thing women definitely make comments on is, how do I get more suds? And this is what they're looking for.
Correct.
Because
But
that
suds
means what
don't
to them?
claim.
Right, but they think that it does.
Perception, viscosity, fragrance, color, foam.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So we have got, okay, they're loving that you make fun of my cooking.
Do you cook?
Yes, I cook.
Oh.
And I'm a great cook, just like he's a good chemist. But,
I'm a great eater. She is a good cook.
So anyway, we want to announce the winners from last week. Remember? We
Did I
had
win?
some winners. You talked, no, you didn't.
Oh.
We talked about TSX
Okay.
and Spectramax. So we picked 2 winners, and we appreciate everybody who joins us. We have a really good time. But those who join us live, we really appreciate it, and comment and ask questions. We have a good time here with all the teasing, and hopefully we give you some information that you know. But let me get the winners here. We got the winners. Ross Pursglove, and I believe he is from Australia, and I'm going to take that to him myself.
Nice.
And then Kathleen Hoagland, she is our second winner.
Ah.
So those of you today who want, what should we give away?
What do you want to give away?
Well, we should probably give one of each of the shampoos,
Okay.
the Encompass 360,
I'll take that out of your auto purchase, but we'll give them that away too.
okay,
Okay.
Vitalizer. That's a great hair product.
That is, boy, and if you want, we think about for only bald hair, but it's nutrients to the papilla. If you have long hair or anything that you want to, you know, make the most pristine environment for hair growth, definitely use that product.
And I, in my travels, went to Hungary and met a woman there. I know you know her name. I can't think of her right now, but she has done some amazing before and after pictures in her salon, of which she uses Vitalizer for men and women. So if you are looking for thinning hair to get thicker on not only your hair but your eyebrows, such an amazing product. So though we're going to give all that away
Do it.
to 2 or 3 people.
I'll take it out of your check.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's absolutely
All right.
fine. Can I have a raise? Dad wouldn't give it to me.
And for good reason.
Okay, so I'm not going to get that here. So we want to thank everybody for joining us. Meet us next Monday as we continue with Tom Mower Sr. and go through the rest of the skincare products. And remember, join us on our Facebook Sizzle Beauty site on sizzlebeauty.com. I have a blog that we do every week. Right now we're wrapping up our exfolium, our 10 benefits of exfolium. We've got the last one coming up on how it exfoliates the skin. And come back for your winners next week. Also tune in, we've got a new thing we're doing called the guest blogger. Liana Bacchini did it for our first one.
Awesome.
She was amazing. It's always interesting to hear about the business from a distributor's point of
It
view.
is, because boy, they're right there on the front lines. They're
They
the
are.
ones who are explaining to people why we have the best shampoo.
So this was great. I love this. It was just, honestly, I don't think you've ever done this for me.
I haven't. I
So-
wanted to shampoo your hair here with
He
this
did
after.
ask if we could do that, and no. So, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next Monday at 3 o'clock.